Hey guys, it's Omer from MMOs.com with a quick weekly news recap of all major MMO news and announcements this week ending September 17th, 2018. Apologies for this going up a day late as I just got home. I was in Seattle for the week, and yes, I know I've been traveling a lot lately, but I am back. No podcasts tomorrow, but we'll be back on normal schedule next week. I should have no travel plans ahead of me going forward for now. Anyway, the first set of news this week is a fun one. According to Divorce Online, a divorce website based in the UK, 5% of divorces this year are attributable to either Fortnite addiction or gaming addiction. What's surprising here is that Fortnite is mentioned by name, whereas everything else is kind of clumped together as gaming. So Fortnite has gotten so big that it's literally responsible for a good chunk of divorces in the world now. Obviously, a true waifu would just game with you instead of divorcing over it, but I'm not sure if that was a fun story, but I call it a fun story. Anyway, next up in more traditional MMO news, EverQuest 2's 15th expansion titled Chaos Ascending will be launching sometime in November and take players further into the elemental planes. To celebrate the upcoming expansion, the game is running a prelude event titled Against the Elements right now, which will run until Chaos Ascending launches later in November. Daybreak is also planning various level up events to get players caught up with current content before the expansion hits. No specific details on what new content will be released with the expansion. Beta signups will begin in October, and more will be revealed in the coming weeks. EQ2 is an oldie. It launched back in 2004, the same year World of Warcraft did, and it's still running. The core game is free to play, but you'll need to buy the expansions, the newer expansions to get access to the new content. Next, Elder Scrolls Online is launching its Murkmire DLC alongside with Update 20 later this year. Murkmire introduces an entirely new zone, a new main quest line, new world bosses, and the new 4-player Black Rose Prison Arena. Update 20, on the other hand, introduced a new RVR map, improvements to the game's housing system, changes to combat, and some balance tweaks. As always, Elder Scrolls Online is a buy-to-play game, but has regular DLCs that you do have to buy separately. But if you're a monthly paying member, all the DLCs do come included. Update 20, on the other hand, will be free for everyone, so all those regular updates are free, but DLCs do cost money. Though there's a way to get this DLC for free if you log in frequently, though, in the upcoming event. Next up, a small bit of news for Tera, the action MMORPG from In Mass. The PC version of the game released a Happily Evil After update this week, which reintroduces a bunch of bad guys from the game's past, including the Imperator, Pagar, and Dakrian, which players can do battle against in the new and improved Shadowy Sanctuary dungeon, which includes newly revamped rewards and loot, which includes materials needed to craft brand new ethereal accessories. Also including the Happily Evil After update are the Dakurian pets, which can be tamed to assist players by auto-looting and auto-gathering resources, similar to how pets work in Black Desert Online. Next, in a recent Q&A, the folks at My.com revealed some details about the upcoming Sulan update for Revelation Online. As the name of this update suggests, the city of Sulan will go through a massive rework and be renamed New Sulan. A new dungeon difficulty system is also being released alongside the update. It's not a huge update, but it's still something. The game also launched on Steam sometime last month to boost its player base. The only real interesting thing about this one is that Revelation Online is a Chinese MMORPG, and since the heydays of 2010, we really haven't had too many new Chinese MMORPGs come to the West. So if you're feeling adventurous, give it a try. Though heads up, the first hour or so is incredibly boring and repetitive. Hopefully we don't have to wait too much longer for Moonlight Blade here in the West. Moving right along, the interplanetary voxel MMO Boundless launched on Steam this week as a part of Square Enix's indie game publishing project. Keep in mind though, this one isn't exactly a new game. It was available as an early access title since 2014 as Online. Think of it as Minecraft with more MMO elements. Unfortunately, Boundless is buy to play, so you'll have to fork over $39.99 to give it a try. But that doesn't stop some from giving it a try because it's averaging 350 or so users online through Steam, which ain't that bad. While I'm not against paying for a game, I've gotten used to free to play, and I'm only willing to pay up for big launches. For indie games, I'm rarely willing to spend over $10, but that's just me. I do really like the voxel graphics though, because I love the graphics in Trove, and but Trove is free to play on the other end, but if you want to give it a try, it is on Steam for $39.99. Next up, we have a big new game launch coming later this week. Ring of Elysium from Tencent Games is hitting Steam on September 19th and is yet another entrant into the Battle Royale genre. Some quick facts, this game will be free to play both in early access and a full launch. The unique part of this is that it's not just another last man standing game. Instead, players have a different objective. There's a rescue helicopter waiting on the island that can rescue up to 4 people, so you have to fight your way towards the rescue helicopter while avoiding the creeping snowstorm chasing in after you. This one looks pretty high budget and is developed by Tencent Games, the world's biggest gaming company. So let's see what a Chinese Battle Royale game looks like for the biggest gaming company in the world. I'm eager to give this one a try. And speaking of Chinese Battle Royale games, the mobile free-to-play Battle Royale game Knives Out is launching on the PlayStation 4 sometime in 2019. It's actually pretty crazy just how popular Knives Out is currently. While it's not as big as PUBG Mobile or Fortnite, the game is a huge success in both China and Japan, and it actually already made its way onto the PC through Steam earlier this year. Both visually and gameplay-wise, though, Knives Out plays a lot like PUBG, so much so that actually PUBG Corp actually sued NetEase, the Chinese company behind this game, for copyright infringement back in April of this year. But clearly that hasn't stopped them from pushing Knives Out to more platforms. I did first look for this one already, and I don't really see any reason to play it over Fortnite or PUBG, but if you want to get that PUBG experience for free, I guess Knives Out is a good alternative because it's a free-to-play PUBG. Also on the console game front, Space Ninja Shooter, better known as Warframe, is launching on Nintendo Switch on November 20th through Nintendo eShop. The game is already available on Xbox One and PS4, and actually just launched the Mask of Revenant update on those consoles earlier this week. And Warframe has been a huge hit on the PC since release, and I have no doubt it'll be a big hit on consoles as well, including the Nintendo Switch. And despite being owned by a Chinese company, the game does a really awesome job with their cash shop and business model, where it's completely fair and not pay to win. I think we'll see more and more popular free-to-play games making their way over to the Switch in the coming year, as well as other consoles, because so many games are coming on consoles, why not Switch? Up next, Guild Wars 2's Living World Season 4, Episode 4, titled A Star to Guide Us, is launching tomorrow on September 18th, and you can see it in action in the trailer in the background. Episode 4 continues the game's long-running storyline and introduces the new Jolly Bluffs map, as well as a new Mythrite Gambit raid. Other small goodies are also included in the update, and as with all Living World updates, this is available for free to anyone who already owns the Path of Fire expansion for Guild Wars 2. Moving right along, Absolver, the buy-to-play fighting games with persistent elements, is launching its first big expansion titled Downfall on September 25th in a bid to revitalize itself. The expansion will be free to play, but the game's base game still costs money. Downfall focuses on adding solo and cooperative elements to the game through a new mode called Downfall, which takes players through the Adelian Mines. This one launched with a bang back in September 2017 and averaged 685 players at any given time during a launch month, but those numbers have since collapsed since the game is only now averaging about 85 users online over the last 30 days. I think it's time for the base game to go free to play, and I suspect that if Downfall doesn't revitalize the player base, they'll probably consider going free to play. Up next, the previously announced Final Fantasy XIV patch 4.4 Prelude and Violet officially launches tomorrow, September 18th, and with it comes a ton of goodies, including the new main story quests, new dungeons, new items, and most importantly, at least for me, new set of raids. So I expect myself to be kind of addicted to Final Fantasy XIV at least for the next couple weeks until I clear these raids, so I am mega hyped for that. Next and last bit of news this week comes from the folks over at Ankama, the French gaming studio behind Wakfu and Dofus. They released a year-end development roadmap highlighting what's in store for both games between now and the end of the year. Wakfu players can look forward to a new level 200 boss named Shadowfang, as well as the upcoming Nation update, which is set for December, which will revamp the game's art and add new quests and some other unrevealed gameplay mechanics to the game. Dofus players can look forward to update 2.48, which will be launching soon, and with it will come the new Coliseum League PP system, as well as a revamp of its existing pet system. Despite both titles being fairly old, both Wakfu and Dofus offer a unique tactical-like RPG experience not found in other MMOs. Plus, the art style is pretty unique. Anyway, guys, that's it for MMO news this week. No podcast tomorrow. I just came back home from Seattle, so I'm not kept up with my MMO drama, but we will resume again next week, and I'll see you then. Later, guys.